It was a cold autumn evening. The wind was rustling the bare tree branches, breaking the silence of the cemetery. Arda had to stay in the cemetery until midnight because of a bet he made with his friends. Although he secretly hated the idea, he didn't want to appear cowardly in front of them. When he reached the gate of the cemetery, the moonlight cast a pale glow on the gravestones. The air, chilled by the wind, sent shivers down his spine. He turned on the flashlight of his phone and, taking a deep breath, stepped into the cemetery. His friends had already left, waiting outside in the distance. As his steps echoed between the gravestones, it felt as if every stone was watching him. After walking for a while, he decided to sit by an old tree. His heart was racing, and he was carefully listening to even the slightest sound around him. That's when he noticed something strange. There was an eerie silence. Neither the sound of the wind nor the rustling of the trees could be heard. It was as if the air had completely stilled. Suddenly, a shadow appeared among the gravestones. At first, Arda thought his eyes were playing tricks on him, but the shadow began moving toward him. He pointed his phone's light at it, but there was no one there. When he looked again, the shadow was even closer. Panic set in as he stood up, but it felt as if his legs were nailed to the ground. The shadow slowly leaned toward his face, and a cold whisper filled the air. "What are you doing here?" Arda, trembling, took a step back. When he turned around, there was another shadow. This one was larger, more terrifying. The two shadows closed in on him like a trap. Just as he was about to scream, thin streams of smoke began rising from every grave. Dark figures emerged from each headstone, gliding toward Arda. His heart felt like it was about to stop. He tried to run, but his steps became increasingly difficult. The shadowy figures had surrounded him completely when another whisper reached his ears. "Once you enter, you cannot leave." Arda let out a scream and collapsed to the ground. He closed his eyes, waiting for it all to end, but the end didn't come. When he opened his eyes, the sun had risen, and his friends were standing over him, staring. Dirt covered him, marked with the cold imprint of an old gravestone. He looked at his friends, and with a shaky voice, muttered, "They are still here."